Leonardo da Vinci once said, "Water is the driving force behind all of nature." And as an environmental engineer, I have to agree with him. Water resources management is the cornerstone of everything we do in the field of environmental engineering. And one of the biggest projects for an environmental engineer is to create clean, drinkable water for the entire human race. That being said, it is believed that less than 1% of the water on Earth is drinkable, and 2/3 of this water is locked away in glaciers and ice caps, leaving 1/3% of water on Earth safe for human consumption. And much of this 1/3% is locked away in rivers and lakes across the world. That is, until one company decided to look up. The title of my speech is SkySource, creating clean, drinkable water out of thin air. SkySource is a revolutionary company whose We Do generator has netted them countless acclaim and recognition. SkySource's We Do generator can generate up to 2,000 liters of water per day at the cost of only 2 cents per liter. But don't just take my word for it. Allow me to walk you through the water cycle of SkySource. We'll begin with the evaporation of clean water leading to a scarcity, which ultimately led to the founding of SkySource. We'll then move on to the condensation of good ideas brought about by passionate environmentalists, leading to the birth of the We Do. And finally, we'll move on to the precipitation of recognition, acclaim, and awards that the We Do generator achieved for SkySource. Let us begin. We start with the evaporation of water leading to a scarcity that ultimately led to the founding of SkySource. SkySource.org will describe their origins as following. David and Laura Hertz, two spokespeople for environmental sustainability, met one afternoon in 2015 with Richard Groden, the founder of Skywater Technologies. David, Laura, and Richard shared one passionate conversation about environmental sustainability, particularly in the field of water, which ultimately led to the birth of SkySource, a play on the name Skywater, Richard's previous company. SkySource was created to seek out opportunities to create safe, sustainable, and inexpensive water for societies that needed it most. Which leads us to our next point. The condensation of good ideas, which lead to the birth of the We Do. Through a combination of existing Skywater technologies, along with the patented biogasifier, the We Do was born. The We Do, also known as the wood-to-energy deployable emergency water generator, is able to generate over 2,000 liters of water at the cost of only 2 cents at the cost of less than a nickel anywhere on Earth. Now, it must be clarified that the We Do does not simply generate water out of thin air, yet its process is remarkably similar. By creating a controlled environment in which air is superheated, water is able to be generated through the superheated air at an insanely quick rate, which can then be filtered off and given away for free. Imagine a cloud created in a box that is able to create rain at the press of a button. This rain can then be given off clean, drinkable, and to entire societies, many of which use the We Do as their only source of clean, drinkable water. Along with just providing clean water, the We Do can also act as an electrical generator, creating entire electrical grids for developing countries that don't have an electrical framework. This combination of almost infinite clean water and energy leads us into our final point: the precipitation of acclaim, awards, and recognition that the We Do has achieved for SkySource. SkySource has received countless acclaim for the We Do from a variety of different sources. We begin with $1.5 million being awarded to SkySource by X Prize in their Water Abundant Project competition. This was done in 2016, only a year after SkySource had been founded. We then move on to the Social Entrepreneurship Award, an award that was given to SkySource by the World Technology Network in 2018, only 3 years after its founding. And just a year after this, they would become a finalist in the World Changing Ideas Award by Fast Company in 2019, which leads us into their greatest award, being recognized as one of Time Magazine's best inventions of 2020, an award that's only shared with 99 other inventions of the year. David Hertz, one of the 3 founders of SkySource, says as follows: "At SkySource, we believe water is a fundamental human right, one that should be decentralized, abundant, and democratized. At SkySource, we strive to change the relationship that Earth has with water. And as an environmental engineer, I 100% agree with him. The relationship that we currently have with water as a society is, for lack of a better word, abysmal, and is ultimately what has led to the water scarcity crisis we are currently facing today. If we were all to share the passion that David, Laura, and Richard all share in their company, the water scarcity crisis would be solved in record-breaking time." Which moves us into our conclusion. SkySource is an amazing company whose goals for water's relationship with Earth and vice versa is one that should be shared with everyone. We've discussed the entire water cycle of SkySource, the evaporation of water leading to its foundation, the condensation of good flowing ideas leading to the creation of the we do, and finally, the precipitation of award, acclaim, and recognition that the we do has achieved for SkySource. As Da Vinci said, nature is driven by water. And if we as a society are able to make water cheaper and more accessible to everyone, we can begin to use this driving force as a force of good. Thank you. Oh, and let me begin to show off my cards before I forget again. You have my first card, my introduction, SkySource with my title. We have my second card, which has the founding, aka evaporation, my second card. We have purpose, also known as condensation, my third card. Finally, we have recognition, also known as precipitation, my fourth card. Then we have my intro restated, my fifth card. And finally, my conclusion, my sixth card. Thank you.